How we all feeling, everybody?
Feeling good.
Feeling good?
Feeling real good.
I guess we could reevaluate bonds and stuff if we're chugging along session by session in terms of...
I think Genovia is pretty much the same.
Good to go. Yeah.
She's created a bond with the librarian who's not part of this, but...
Oh, that's nice, though. That's good. May I ask what that is?
She thinks that the librarian will play an important role in the events to come. I have foreseen it.
Portent!
An ominous portent!
I just kind of imagine that you're saying this laying on your butt, like having just fallen down from this magical defense of the wall. It doesn't have to be true, but I just imagine that that's the case.
It was probably, what, you think like a 3-foot fall?
Yeah,
maybe?
probably.
Yes.
Yeah, I even feel bad about assigning any kind of damage for it at all, but...
I love that it's a 3-foot fall and how long your scream was. That means that you hit the ground and then started to scream.
And because of that, the very puzzled face of the librarian looking down over the wall is at first concerned and then kind of befuddled, and then there's a shock of panic, and he ducks back down. And you hear the metal sliding of the front gatehouse moving off from where you just came. What do you do as you are on the ground and you hear somebody about to exit the unseen university, mere 20-30 paces from where you are?
I stand up quickly and flatten myself against the side of the wall. I'm like, librarian! Hide me! Cover me!
And he disappears for a second, and like you...
Where are you going?
You hear some rustling, and then he just kind of throws a bunch of leaves over.
I'm just crouched underneath the leaves, peering out.
Give me a defy danger. Let's see what this is. It's like you're hiding, so it's like a
camouflage.
It's probably dex or something, or
by getting out of the way or acting fast. It would be with dexterity.
Yeah, I think you're like flattening yourself into a crook in the wall.
Okay. That's a 7.
Hey,
yeah, it's a mixed success. Awesome. So you are concealed for the moment, despite the completely useless help of the librarian, and you see a very, very large old man, not in like a fat sense, although he's definitely got some stuff around the center, in what looks like baseball pants and like an undershirt. He's like very sweaty, and he's like, where did she go? A friend of Esme, you say? Oh, well, all right. And he walks back inside. And the door closes.
Librarian, was that Esme's lover?
Whoa.
He looked a bit like Santa.
He does kind of look like Santa. He's kind of like, especially Santa in this universe is the Hogfather, who's like a big, muscular, kind of weird Norse man. So he did kind of look like that. But he did have the big wizard's hat, despite the athletic apparel. Because if you're not a if you're a wizard and you don't have your hat, are you really a wizard? You have your hat.
Yes.
It's true.
I was about to say, do you have a sapient pear wood staff? Is that like, you got the staff?
I got the staff.
Okay.
I have... So, I was born on a mountain, and they thought...
I was born on a mountain.
They mistook me for a boy, the old wizard who brought me a staff. And then later on in my childhood, I started showing signs like turning my brother into a dog.
Nice.
That's how you know you're a wizard.
How I knew I was a wizard.
You just convinced him that he was a dog?
Yeah, I physically, yes. Physically convinced him, you are now a dog.
One of your 7 siblings. Hell yeah. You can't speak monkeys, but
Librarian, take me to him.
And he just kind of points at where the door was. And he climbs back down from the wall.
Show some gumption. I'm older than you, I bet. How old are you? Doesn't matter. Let's go.
And he does. He follows you. Do you knock back on the sliding gate?
Yeah. I'll knock back on the gate and hope for the best.
That worried young freshman professor opens up again and says, "How can I help?" "Oh, miss, the Arch-Chancellor was just." Keep your voice down though, because Twilliam.
Let me ask, boy. What is your zodiac sign? You seem like an Archjack the salesman to me.
I am an Archjack the salesman.
I knew it. You know what?
You must be a wizard.
I am a See, yes, this is what I've been telling you, boy.
You have
Please.
knowledge of the Celestial.
I do have knowledge of the Celestial, and I'm trying to learn more about the Celestial parsnip. And this man can help me. He knows Mrs. Weatherwax. Can you please bring him back to me, please?
God, I don't want to get in trouble.
Listen, I know you salesmen, but you're very kind. You're very kind and loving and generous. And let me tell you, she puts her hand up to him and touches his forehead. You will have great things bestowed upon you if you will help me complete my quest. I see it.
Did you cast a spell?
No, I'm trying to...
I just assumed that was like
I'm trying to trick him.
Okay, it's a parlay.
Yes.
Give me a cha roll. A cha roll.
Cha roll.
Firefest.
Oh. I'm just...
I'm gonna mark experience.
Four.
Damn. Damn. Alright, I'll go get him. And he gets zapped. And his stunned face sort of fades away. And you see the face of second Magus First Class, Twilliam Krupp.
Krupp!
Madam, we really have to stop meeting like this, you know.
Well, it's up to you if we meet like this. I told you, I'm a wizard. You know, we can be friends.
Let the young lady in. If she's a friend of Esme, she's a friend of mine. You hear a booming voice that sounds like it might be Santa behind him.
And I whisper to the librarian, it's Santa!
Twilliam Krupp, a spasm of hatred covers his otherwise smooth, if extremely scarred and bearded face. He's more of like a talker, and you see the mask slip for a second, and you see in his eyes that which his outward demeanor already shows. He says, "As you wish, Archchancellor." And he begins undoing the many mechanisms of sliding the gate open. Back to the Bear Brigade. What are you guys doing? How do you feel having just seen your possum?
Yeah, how hard are you freaking out right now?
I'm recovering. I'm recovering.
Okay.
I have my moment. I'm like, I can see these things objectively, my past and how they affected me. It's a sort of axis of evils. And
This is my axis of evil.
Yeah. And I think my next step is I'm going to try to track a little beef.
Yeah, just give me a
little beef.
Give me a roll. I think +2 in addition to whatever else you get, because he's your boy. You know where he is.
My beef boy.
You know where your beef's gonna go.
I guess that's.
Yeah, it's plus belief.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna keep an eye out for a frightened mouse.
A frightened mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep my thighs out.
Give me discern realities.
Is that wisdom?
I think this would be for wisdom.
Ooh, that's an 11, boy.
So I tell you something both useful and interesting. No mice. Sorry. And if they are, they're probably rats, and they're probably not frightened because they're probably living pretty good in Ankh-Morpork. The city of a billion rats. But you do see on this quieter stretch of street in the temple district, in front of the Temple of the Small Gods, that there are a couple people, going about their business, talking to themselves, a lot more, actually, talking to themselves. And, in fact, some of them appear to be, gesturing to something that doesn't exist at all, just gesturing into the air, and then some of them even looking to each other and chatting animatedly before gesturing to the same patch of air. It's strange. You've been around humans enough to know that they're acting a little bit strange, and you hear the voice of Rock the Dwayne Johnson, just Dwayne. You hear Dwayne say something now. Remember what we talked about, Crusty? Remember.
Right, yeah. Hey, did Dan try to talk to you? The girl that was with Toofa. Did he try to talk? I tried to do the evangelizing.
What are you saying? Are you talking to me? You're talking to Dwayne again.
I'm talking to Dwayne.
God.
And that was a 10, though, right? Mm-hmm. So you begin finding the telltale signs of where where Beef has been. Probably a poop or two,
Here's some shit.
It's a wild animal.
A little bit of blood from his mouth. He's swallowing. All right. Okay, I see his track. Okay.
And you begin walking or moving however you like.
Just head back and forth, move like a salamander.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Farther.
It does move like a salamander.
Hubward, near the gates where you guys actually came in, okay. While Crusty is having this conversation with you about Dwayne, and you're asking Dwayne if Dan saw him.
Yeah.
Dwayne says, "Oh, brother, I don't know who you're talking about."
Okay. I'll keep trying.
and you guys are heading along towards the gates, wherever that map is, whatever.
Yeah, I like, as we're going, I'm like, I don't want to distract you, but it looks like there's a lot of people trying to be mimes out there.
And you see that despite the legal injunction on mimes in Ankh-Morpork threatened with death in the Scorpion Pits by the patrician Lord Vetinari, there are a lot of people either signing or gesticulating or talking to thin air.
Damn, it's a mime-evolution.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I've seen one of those since 19... I don't know, the years are bad.
Let's say
1955.
let's say the year of the. Give me a adjective and a animal.
Adjective. Crusty.
The year of the Crusty.
Yes, it's on me, baby.
You Crusty.
Animal. I'm thinking about a couple things. I'm thinking chipmunk.
The Crusty Chipmunk.
Crusty chipmunk. Here we go.
I like it.
Exactly.
I like it.
And walking towards the gate, you find an interesting sight, which is Beef on his back, tongue lolling out and sort of like
Beef, you're making a goddamn...
getting pet by a very large man whose biceps are bulging out of his watchman guard armor. He's got a shock of frizzy red hair and what seems like some sort of birthmark on his right bicep, and he's making like cooing noises, petting Beef. It's like, oh, you're just a good little boy, aren't you?
Beef, get over here. I snap.
Oh, hello, citizen.
Beef, come here.
Hey, Carrot Top.
Do I know you? I'm so sorry. I never forget a name. Captain Carrot, could you remind me of your name?
Crusty. My stage name's Cave Troll.
Right.
Good to meet you.
We haven't had that bit yet, have we?
No, we haven't. I just decided to bring it up in episode 3 that my stage name's Cave Troll.
Well, it's very nice to meet you. I thought I knew everybody in Ankh-Morpork. Are you visiting? Are you, wait.
Yeah,
Don't tell me.
What?
Charles?
Yes!
Oh, Charles!
Carrot, man,
we've met 7 years ago. You were bringing muskrat pelts into the city, and
oh yeah, I remember
yes.
that. I remember my muskrat days.
Oh.
I've moved on from muskrats.
Sure.
but-
And is this your new friend? Is this what did you call him? Beef.
Beef. I can't just call him Beef.
Beef. It's very nice to meet you.
He's a great little guy, ain't he? Say hi, Beef.
Like a big dog just panting.
He's cute as shit, isn't he? Yeah.
Well, don't let me detain you. Just have to make my way on over to the guilds district. I'll see you when I see you.
You going to the guilds?
Yes, indeed.
Hey, we got a friend who's trying to start a guild.
Really? Who's your friend?
Oh,
What's his name? Frickin'
new boss?
Eddie? Antler?
You are talking about Edward Valender, are you?
Yep.
Oh, what a sweet man he is. What a sweet dwarf he is. I was raised by dwarfs as well. And he begins walking towards the guild's district.
Wait, should we go with him
Sweet to me, at least.
Should we go to the guild place?
Yeah, I guess we go get him.
Edward,
Yeah.
you are moving just a stone's throw away from the chaos that has just been unleashed, which the Fool's Guild over towards...
When I threw a decapitated body and punched somebody.
Yeah, right. Towards the Musicians Guild instead. True to the word of Tufa and Shifty Dan, it seems like it has indeed been boarded up, and there is a sign on it. It's got the crying clown face insignia of the Fool's Guild by order of Dr. Whiteface and Giggles, first Tom Fool, that the Musicians Guild premises are closed for the time being, and all guild members in good standing should report to the Fool's Guild for assignment until further notice.
I'm gonna break down the door.
Hell yeah. Is that Ben Steele or...
Yeah, bend bars, lift gates.
Do it!
I'm so good at getting an A+2 because I did it again.
How do you break into the Musicians Guild? Which I'm going to say is significantly dingier than like the other guilds you've seen. Certainly like the Guild of Engravers and everybody else has like nice digs, as do the Fools. Fools are very opulent.
So what is the sign that's like up? What is it made of? It's just paper?
It's just like a billet. It's like a poster. Like a bill.
Alright. So I'm gonna take the sign down, not rip it, and then just grab the lock that's like the chain lock around the door, and I just it doesn't take very long. Nothing of value is damaged, and you can fix it again without effort. So I just grab the lock and just use my brute strength just to break it, and then I pull out like a quill that I have on me, and then turn the piece of paper around and said, "Welcome to the Dwarven Fighters Championship." And I put it back up on the wall because the doors are not broken, like because I was able to. So like, and then I walk in, and then so I've now staked the Musicians Guild Hall as the new
And as we know,
DFC
the new DFC.
that's what real estate is.
It's free real estate, Jim.
It's free real estate.
Yeah. So what's it look like on the inside?
You tell me. I don't think you've ever been there before. Maybe to hire somebody in your earlier iterations.
I'd say it's got. I don't know shit about music in real life, so whatever would make for good acoustics, it has that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a little dingy and definitely a little dusty. It seems like the guild's fallen on hard times even before it got sort of eaten by the Fools Guild. And there's a couple, I think the main thing is a foyer that opens up onto a couple different smaller auditorium halls where people could have private concerts and such. There's a couple practice rooms and similar, and there's a big mahogany desk where you would like sign in or be shown to the correct rooms if you were either renting a studio or similar.
Yeah, it's great. I'm just gonna start like trying to come up with some sketches and some ideas of how I can turn the other rooms into fighting arenas. And I on the front desk, I'm gonna like etch in just the name E. Valender on the front of it, and
With what, like just a dagger? Just
yeah, like just like a dagger or something. It's fine. I'm just gonna etch my name in there.
Spring break, 1980.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna but yeah, because my plan now is I'm tired of all the bureaucracy of the guilds, and obviously guilds can just take over other fucking guilds. So why have I been trying to use words when I could punch people to death and get what I want?
this is what laws is.
Yeah.
That's how it be sometimes.
So yeah, so I'm just kind of in there, like drawing up some basics because I need to be able to tell people my investors like what kind of plans I have for my newly acquired building.
It was an aggressive.
I love,
just
a real purchase. You really got it. Busted the doors down and closed that deal.
Always closing.
I love the mixture of complete forethought and complete lack thereof. And I also can't help but notice how sneaky you were when you said that one of the drawbacks that's possible for this move is it does not draw undue attention, which I don't think was the one you chose.
No, I did not pick that at all.
No. Okay. So I think the Arch-Chancellor opens the door. He doesn't like show you inside. He's like, get up. And he kicks the stunned freshman professor and he says, go fix our honored guests some tea. And he's like, yes, right away, Arch-Chancellor. My voice has changed 5 times in the course of these recordings. And he runs off and, 2 sugars, ma'am?
One is fine. I'm trying to watch my sugar intake.
Yes, ma'am. Wizard. Ma'am. Lady.
Mom. We'll get there.
And he runs off. And Arch-Chancellor, Mostrum Ridcully, he says, putting out his hands. And he says, are you the friend of Esme?
She returns his handshake. Yes, Granny Weatherwax.
Oh.
Yes.
She wasn't Granny when I met her.
You know, she has told me much about you and your adventures. She winks.
Really?
He
just screams. Really? Krupp is nowhere to be found, by the way.
Yes, but that is not why I'm here. See, I have seen such portents.
No.
Yes, you would not imagine what I have beheld. Such things that a wave would come up and sweep an entire boat of men like the mouth of a huge...
Wait, say that again.
A boat. Do you know what I'm referring to?
No, I had a
Celestial Parsnip, the boat that was following it.
I had a dream that was very...
You had the dream?
You had the dream?
Granny had the dream, too.
Granny had the dream. Granny is a dream.
Okay.
Sorry. Are you referring to? And he sketches out briefly. It's very similar to the dream that both you and Granny had. Just the image of a boat on stormy seas, and far too many people crawling over the boat, trying to get into the safety of the boat. So many people that the boat itself begins to rock and capsize, throwing all of them to the bottom of the sea. And then I woke up.
Me too. It seems like these men didn't have control over what they were doing. Oh, what do we do about this? What does this mean?
Well, I suppose we can look at the library.
Yes,
The library. This is what I've been trying to do.
Oh, you're certainly a vivacious lady, aren't you?
Okay, watch it now. Okay, you can be horny for Weatherwax and not me.
My lady, I am an Archchancellor in good standing.
And I am the first female wizard.
I would never admit to being horned.
On Main Street.
Let's take it inside,
Yes,
you
please.
horned man.
Come with me. And he walks inside. Do you walk inside?
Yes.
You are immediately bumped back as an invisible wall of force keeps you. It just sort of. He's I'm so sorry.
I am quite frazzled.
I am very sorry about that. May I? And he reaches out for your hand, and he
Don't get too frisky now. Yeah. Thank you.
draws a very chaste symbol on it. It's basically a check mark.
A very chaste.
He's like, please come on in.
Okay, I will take your hand. Let's go.
So, I must warn you, I'm very sorry. It's an archaic rule, but rules are meant to be broken. Your Granny Weatherwax taught me that.
She told me. Okay, so move on.
Personally, I see no issue with having one of the female sex in this hallowed ground.
Can you not yell? I mean, really, when's the last time you saw a woman?
Do you think these ninnies care? Look at them. Sorry.
They are indeed ninnies.
It's a bunch of ninnies. Wizards are not. This is the
They're
outlier.
categorically
Quizzlings,
ninnies.
I would say.
Just a bunch of bosomy quizzlings, if you ask me.
Yes.
Anyway,
What
let's
were
walk.
you saying?
And you begin to walk towards the library, and he says, "Well, I have given you what's the word? A sort of authorization to walk within these grounds. I find that the library, without further precautions, might react poorly to your presence."
Well, are you sure I gave the librarian many a banana.
Oh no, not the librarian. He's a proper chap.
Yes, he is. Yes, I would say that.
No, there are archaic defenses in place. If one of the XX chromosome were to walk.
Okay, you're dancing around it.
I'm just saying we might run into resistance while we do our research.
I am prepared. I have my staff.
And you guys walk up to the library. God, Ridcully's exhausting. Where are we at? So you are working on your basically business pitch.
Yeah.
In the Musicians Guild. And Captain Carrot, this...
Also, it's not the Musicians Guild, it's the Dwarven Fighting Championship Guild.
It is now.
That's how real estate works. Oh, man, the previous owner's going to be real surprised. Captain Carrot actually walks you guys. He takes a more meandering route. He's clearly on his watchman's walk as well as reporting to the scene of a crime.
I'm talking his ear off about Dwayne. Like,
He seems very interesting, and you say you hear him.
Oh, dear, he talks to me. Now, here's a visual representation, but not the real Dwayne, but this is in the form that he appeared to me.
Put him, goddamn it.
and I show him the rock, and it's got the eyebrow, and it's
So this
It's
is
a visual representation.
well, it's not actually Dwayne,
Yeah.
right? Because
It's very nice to meet you. Visual representation of Dwayne.
right, but Dwayne is great, right? He wants you to get what you want. Oh, what do you want, Carrot Top?
And this is you speaking frankly.
Yeah, we've been meandering around for a while.
I don't know a way to say this that doesn't sound corny as shit, but he says, I want to protect and serve the citizens of this city.
Is he enchanted? Is he okay?
Give me a discern realities.
we got all these weird mimes walking around. I want to know if something's going on with Carrot Top. That's a 9.
He is perhaps the least subtextual person you have met in your travels.
Okay.
Even when saying something as corny as that, he says it with such a sort of naturalness. There's no glaze to his eyes or anything similar to that.
Okay.
That has let him sort of say this thing without a hint of irony or insincerity.
Gotcha. Good to know.
And as part of that perceive realities, you've got a closer look at the tattoo on his right bicep, but it's actually it's closer. You see, it's a birthmark, and it looks like a sort of weird. It looks like a crown got melted a little bit. You know, just sort of stretched probably by the bicep itself.
Oh.
What are you doing, Charles?
Can I perceive reality on that little mind business people?
Yeah, so you're going to be taking a look at these men and women that you're walking by.
6, 7, 8, plus what's this?
Wisdom?
Wisdom, 9.
Great, yeah. You are keeping an eye, and now you're beginning to notice them more and more. And several people do not follow this strange behavior. Several people are, in fact, noticing that as well and moving on their way. And you begin to see, every once in a while, there's something that tickles the back of your mind as you're putting things together. Just watching person after person walk by, and whether they are acting this strange way or not acting this strange way. And the people who aren't, for example, walk into the temple of Anoia, previously a minor god who is now fairly major. She is the god of lost things and things that get stuck in the drawer, so it's difficult and you can't really get it out. And every time you say something like, God damn it, or why don't you even have this? I don't even, what is it? And then you like get your hand stuck in there. That's prayers to her. So she's pretty
She's
strong.
doing all right.
Yeah, she's doing okay. You know, she's definitely a newer god. And those people are definitely not among the people that are animatedly talking with either beatific expressions or more perturbed expressions to the air.
Gotcha.
And another person might make eye contact with the Anoia worshipper and say, "See you next week," and wander into the temple of Offler, the crocodile god, another major god on the Discworld.
I forgot all these guys I got. And they got a new one too. Got yours.
That's right. It's fresh. Fresh out the
Fresh
volcano.
Oh yeah, Crusty, it is fresh. We're walking near something real nice. Can I ask you to do something for me?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Dwayne, you been doing drugs?
No. Say no to drugs, kid. No.
What you need, Dwayne?
I don't know yet, but we're getting close.
All right.
Can I let you know when I know, and then we'll go there and just you and me, Crusty.
You let me know when you know. I'll make it
I feel
happen.
uncomfortable for some reason.
You do feel uncomfortable because
You
again,
smell that?
Smell what?
Wait, smell what?
Is it the bear shit?
Yes, it's what he's cooking.
Smell what the rocks.
Oh,
damn
you and your goddamn rock things.
Well, Dwayne seems like a lovely man. Was that him you were just talking to just then?
It was, yeah. You should try talking to him sometime. He's real nice. He wants you to be happy.
Hello, Dwayne.
Hold on. And don't take offense to this.
And I'm gonna hit him in the head with the rock.
One hand up. I'm going to choose to look at that as a cultural difference between you and I, Crusty.
That's how the trolls do it.
Oh, well, I'm going to pass if you don't mind.
Can I give you a little tap to try to help you talk to him?
Yes, sure. Give me
I give him a little tap.
I can't say I hear anything, but if you don't mind, I'm going to head on down to the guilds. I hope you gentlemen have a lovely day. And he walks past the musicians guild, keeps walking past about 10 or 15 paces towards the Fool's Guild, stops, turns around as though he just noticed something that he wasn't expecting, pulls out his truncheon in one hand and his sword in the other and says, "Excuse me, gentlemen," and walks up to
What's up?
the Musicians Guild, and you see him looking at a poster on the front of the Musicians Guild that has been... it looks like the back of a poster. You don't need to roll to see this. And it says, the Dwarven Fighting Championship Headquarters, was it?
I feel like I heard something like that.
Under new management, I believe.
That's new boss.
Oh, what? Oh, god dang it! God dang it! Hey man, hey, Garrett. Yeah, go in, Knocker.
And he's about to when there is a big ruckus down the street, again about 20 feet away, towards the Fool's Guild. And he says, "Gentlemen," it gives another look at the strange door and immediately runs towards what sounds like a bunch of watchmen calling and calling for backup. And he joins the throng, sword put away, truncheon still in his hand, and begins to assert order as the captain. What do you two do?
Should we check on? I don't really. I mean,
Well, I
everyone's
think
very nice to me.
We could take a look at his sword and see if he wants to go see the ruckus.
Yeah. Hey, I pound down the door. Hey.
Thank you, boss.
I answer the door. Listen, we're not accepting new membership yet. Oh, where did you two go?
Oh, we got lost. We had to
Beef
find
ran off. I had to go get beef.
All right, listen. So I have a lot of work that we need to get done. We got to renovate this very quickly. I'm sorry. That's right. I look to beef. Anyways, if you could be your man for just a few moments, I'm going to have him do some. He looks like he could be manually.
He's a bear. He don't speak your language. I'm also his translator. If you want me to translate for you,
Sir, do you think this is the first time I've parlayed with a bear? Anyways, so like I said, I need your man to go in, and I have some pressing business. I have some investor meetings I must go to, and so if you guys just want to go inside and start cleaning up. Also, if anyone comes, the deed is real.
I'm just going to start walking towards the ruckus. I'm just.
And it begins to become more and more loud as more and more officers are fleeing to the scene or running to the scene of the crime, or whatever it is.
I see this as a good opportunity. I pull out some spare parchment that I got and just start saying, start writing down some makeshift flyers of coming soon to what's the street we're on.
Yeah, we can advertise.
Wait, so let's take a look at what street we're actually on. Where's the map?
What
is it?
It's not the minor guys. It's the medium guy.
Well, now we're on the Guild Street now. Right?
Yeah, you're near the main street of the guild location, near the Patrician's Palace grounds, but you're on a side street because the musicians are cheaper. You are on Tin Lid Alley.
Okay, I'm gonna
and
start
God Street, between the Street of the Small Gods and God Street.
Yeah, I'm just real quick. So making some flyers coming soon to Tin Lid Valley. The Dwarven Fighter Championship Guild, admit one, just kind of some pasties. And I'm just all right, so people, this is the best time. If there's going to be a fight, people are watching the fight. If they watch the fight, they like fights. And I hand them some makeshift flyers, start handing these out. We gotta go.
Are you gonna punch?
I mean, if we need to punch, because we want to show them how good the fights are going to be.
Nice. Alright, we can do that.
I just kind of put the papers in Beef's mouth.
Have you already head out?
I guess I'll stick around for this part.
Sure.
And then I'll put the
papers in
Beef's mouth, and he just eats them, I assume.
Yeah, and I just
he's forgetful.
That's his tag. I head over and I'm ready to start handing out some flyers.
I'll start playing a little jaunty tune as we're going along the way.
And as you do so,
I ride on Beef's back.
Oh my god.
If he's gonna fight, I'm gonna go ahead and use my arcane art as I'm playing my tune, and we're heading over that way.
Okay, you can give me a roll, but what you see as you get out is something in progress. You're not sure exactly what, but there is now a large ring of guardsmen, and they're a very mixed bunch. It's not like standard D&D where they're all like, I'm Buff Strongston. You know, maybe Captain Carrot's like that, but a lot of these people are...
I want to talk to Buff Strongston.
He exists somewhere now. Actually, you know what? Did you ever have a superhero as a child in the Ankh-Morpork? Did you ever have somebody you looked up to either in the theaters or the ye olde movies that were just plays?
There's definitely got whoever just was probably there's a great fighter probably from growing up, whoever was a good dwarven fighter,
a renowned barbarian.
Yeah.
As you immediately walk out of the door onto God Street, you see a muscle-bound dwarf, looking a little bit surprised to be there, looking up at you and say, "Hi, you see Buff Strongston?"
And I look to my chicken painting and goes, "All right, I've always wanted to do this," and I run to go punch Buff Strongston.
Great, give me a hack and slash.
I hit a sour note as you do.
Your hero is
Well, I'm sorry. My hero is a fighting champion, and I want to prove to him how much of a hero he is by beating him up to show how he inspired me.
He's also a legend from probably 400 years of dwarven mythology.
Well, finally.
All right, hey, we both mark experience.
Well, actually, wait. No, this is still a failure because it's a 4 plus 2, so it's a 6. So I failed my hack and slash roll against my hero.
My arcane art was also a 4 plus 2.
2 failures. I think we level up, gents. I think everybody levels up. Yeah. And let me paint this scene.
Yeah, that's 8.
You have stepped out of your newly stolen squatter's rights home. Acquired real estate.
I'm included in this level.
Absolutely. We'll do that in just a second. You've stepped out of this newly acquired premises of the Dwarven Fighting Championship, literally an illegal guild at this point, with a payroll that's illegal, with premises that's illegal. You step out. I don't know how you're feeling mentally, having just killed a man, but you step outside.
Fucking great.
And see what can only be a ghost or a legend of Buff Strongston, the greatest dwarven fighter to ever get passed down in the annals of history. And you immediately go and try to kick his ass. Watch this, you say, as you go to try to punch a ghost.
Also, does anyone else see the ghost, or is it just me?
Nobody, you don't know, because your instinct is to go and punch the air.
I'm just curious of what they're seeing. If there's no one there, I'm like, watch this, and I start swinging and nothing.
This is exactly what happens. As you file into the street on God Street, Charles and Crusty and Beef are treated to the sight of a mental breakdown as you begin swinging at thin air, trying to punch and dodge and duck and weave with all of your skill until you literally fall down flat on your face. Nothing connected. He didn't even move. And he looks down at you and says, "That wasn't very nice."
Focusien, mais pas beaucoup les matins. C'est assez curieux, sont toujours curieux. Ne rêve pas l'intérieur. Les dieux sont toujours cruels. Se passe comme un jeu dans un jeu. Avec qui on a gagné. Tout à fait.
Hi everyone, Jonah here to say thank you for listening to episode 3 of
Portents.
This side quest is brought to you by our marvelous sponsor, Castor & Pollux, makers of mystical jewelry and geeky novelties. Quest Company listeners can go to castpollux.com and get 15% off your entire order of dice, jewelry, and other nerdy accessories by using the code TheQuestCo at checkout. That is an awesome deal that you should totally take advantage of. Go check out their website and find something you'll love, like a set of alchemy dice or a fox's cunning necklace. And if you order a set of dice or cool piece of jewelry from Castor & Pollux, send us a picture and we'll feature you on our Instagram and Twitter. If you're a fan of the Quest Company, please help us out and go to our show page on the Apple Podcasts app or wherever you listen to your podcasts and leave us a rating and review. It is super easy. It'll only take a quick moment of your time, and you doing that is a huge help to us as our podcast continues to grow. So please pause this episode real quick, go submit a rating and review, and then fire the episode right back up again. We read every review that comes in, and we love seeing new ones. And for you truly dedicated Quest Company fans, we've got some exciting news. The Quest Company now has a Patreon. If you really appreciate what we do and you want to support us in a very concrete way, please consider becoming a patron of the podcast. You can help us with necessary expenses like web and media hosting, and you can help us meet goals like getting equipment upgrades and individual microphones. We have multiple patron tiers available so that you can contribute as much or as little as you're comfortable with, and every single bit helps so much. If you'd like to help give us that support, you can do so at patreon.com/questcompanypodcast. Alongside the Patreon, we've also launched a Quest Company Discord server where you can connect with the cast as well as other fans of the show. Patrons of the podcast get a special role on the Discord along with some other great rewards. You can find the links to both the Patreon and the Discord server on our website, questcompanypodcast.com, and on our social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, etc. at The Quest Company. And just like with reviews, new patrons will get a shout out here on the podcast. I'd like to take a moment to thank the angelic and masculine Joseph Cash for the
Portents!
theme and for the tasty Dobro jams he threw together for this side quest. And while I'm at it, I'm going to thank the other wonderful artists whose music we used. Thank you to Tabletop Audio for the tracks Waterkeep, Antiquarian Study, and Noir Procedural. You can find more great tracks for your next gaming session at tabletopaudio.com. Thank you to Les Sans Culottes for the song The Gods Have Thirst, and thanks to Kala for the song Jebediah the Falcon Messiah. You can find more from those artists on freemusicarchive.org. Additional sound design by Tyops, Brian Bulmer, and Dive North. That's all I've got, so let us resume the action. Thank you for listening to
Portents!
here on the Quest Company.
Back to the library.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So you're standing in the courtyard. I think there is a gaggle of either students or young professors of the Unseen University that are looking at you and like trying not to seem like they're looking at you because they have literally never seen a woman enter the grounds like as though they were also a wizard, an equal. It's only been on like guest days or this, that, and the other, right? Because this is a backwards institution. How does that feel?
I'm used to it, but we must hurry. I tell him, we must hurry.
Yes, I don't want to be late for lunch either. And you guys hurry along the pitch to the library. Can you describe the library to me? I think it's a smallish building within... the actual university itself seems a lot larger inside this area than the walls outside would seem to indicate, which is just typical wizard shit, you know?
I feel like it's a lot taller than I imagined it to be. Just bookshelves extremely high. You need one of those very magical high ladders that rolls kind of with the wheels on top to get around, and it's just ancient bookcases, and then there's a door in the distance locked with many fancy locks that says do not enter.
Hell yeah. And naturally, Ridcully says, I'm sure what you'll find is there. We're looking for, what is it, the parsnip? What was it?
Yes, the celestial parsnip.
I see.
We're trying to decode what this means, these portents.
Well, my lady, and he reaches for the baseball bat that clearly was in the middle of a game with or whatever, and he thumps it into the ground. It becomes a wizardly staff. All right, shall we?
Comes a snake sometimes, but that's pretty cool too. Yeah, but yes, let's go.
And you head on inside, and there's an instant feeling as you head inside and the door clicks shut behind you that you're in another world. The sunshine October day of the Ankh-Morpork October is gone. And though there were windows on the outside of the library, now that the door is closed, you can't see any sunlight coming through. In fact, like you said, that there are so many books and bookshelves lining the walls and stretching off. Your sense of space and proportion is completely fucked up compared to what you saw the outside of the building to be. This probably isn't surprising because, again, wizards, but you do see that far in the distance there is this path leading towards a door that is locked. Or was it a door, did you say, or there was bookshelves that were locked? And I think actually at a certain point the floor ends, and then it's just books that you have to walk upon to head towards the door. And Ridcully says, I don't mean to be patronizing, but like I said, there will be defenses, and I will do my best to help you.
Okay, well, I will also do my best, and generally that is all we can do, so, can we forth?
Sally forth. Your name's not Sally, by the way, is it?
No, my name's Genovia, but also known in the north as Cornelia Bolingbroke, and also known as in the west as Minerva. There's many names,
Yes, right.
Some of my most popular
We're
is
wizards,
I guess.
All of us have, titles, and we've lived lives, and we've done things, and... Right, let's go.
You go, can you?
And you guys head off along long alleyway leading towards this big locked door.
He says, the books on celestial mechanics, I can't say I ever found them interesting.
I like hunting. And that's all he says as you guys begin to wade your way. I'm gonna say defy danger intelligence.
Okay.
Wizards.
Ooh, okay.
Hey, okay.
There you go.
There we go.
There it is.
I get an 11.
I think as soon as you set foot where there's no longer tile leading along this hallway and instead you're treading on books, everything begins to slowly shift and try to impede your progress. The books themselves begin to try to sink and let your feet sink through them and snatch at you. And then the books on the shelves themselves begin to lean inwards towards you as though they could cover you in a second. And Ridcully seems unaware of this. How do you make them stop and obey your will and stop impeding your path?
I can't use charm person on this because it's not a person.
Oh no, I think you've already succeeded.
Oh.
There's something you, as just a wizard, are able to do with just your intellect that keeps them away. That is not a spell, but it might be a spell. Like, what is it? You know, you are, through the force of your intellect, saying, no, I'm allowed to be here. Fuck off. What does it look like?
I shall activate my staff to prove my wizardry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just take it up in the air and
Like Gandalf walking forward
yes,
and Mordor.
and firmly
Put it on the ground.
smash it on the ground.
And
yes.
the light that it gives off is strong, and where it touches and blooms out of the staff, the books begin to fall limp and just become books once more. And you have headed, you are farther down towards the locked door. Whereupon the librarian is laying in a cradle of books that has clearly been sort of scooped out for an orangutan body to lay, peeling a banana and very carefully putting it somewhere where it won't damage books, goes, "Hoo, hoo, hoo, hoo," and runs up to
Hello,
you.
friend. Yes.
And he runs back to his little warren, gets a big ornate key, and puts it in the lock of the door. And it makes a sound like granite slabs grinding against each other as though a grave has opened up, and beyond it is pure blackness. Neat, says Ridcully.
Have you seen this before?
No, not a bookman myself. I prefer spending time in the woods with a good dog and a good beer and a good...
And a good woman, I know. Can we
Yes.
move on?
and
We have much important things to do.
important portents.
Yes.
Can I use my staff as a light?
Yeah, that's part of prestidigitation.
Right.
So you light your staff, and it is...
To light our way.
yeah, it's got a pearly glow right off
Right.
the head of the staff.
We must move quickly, Ridcully. I fear doom is upon us.
You can call me Mustrum if you like.
Okay, I'm sorry, but
No, please don't. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Oh,
After
Can
you.
we go?
Yes, of course. And you go. So, what is this? What do you make of this?
I'm riding on the back of a bear right now. I'm going to go check out what's going on down there.
He just said, watch this, fought something.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's like the
No,
moment
I
Magic
thought nothing.
I forgot.
thought nothing and fell down on his ass. And what do you guys make of this? Having just...
Can I add a little flavor check? Because I feel like I haven't really accepted all my parents' death and all the weight on me. So I think after I try to beat up my hero, nothing happens, and he said that was nice and disappears. I'm just crying about where are you, father? Or not father, it's daddy at this point. So I'm just you see me cry, yeah. So that's how that was my mental break. Yeah.
Well, that's just pathetic.
Well, it's
And,
sad is
little
what
bit
it is.
Sad. I mean, yeah, I guess my line would say that. It's kind of sad, yeah.
Are you alright?
And I go over and I pat him a little too hard on the back,
Do you need a goddamn hug or something?
Yeah, we can hug it out.
I open my arms for a hug, and I go towards Charles, and then immediately go past him, and I embrace Beef, and then just start talking about, you know what it's like to lose a father, and it's just it meant a lot to me that he was, and I'm just really nervous that he's not going to really think that I'm doing good with all the money that didn't lose.
Oh, God.
I don't know if he's alright.
and my fingers have a mind of their own as I play my slide guitar, and I start trying to disenchant him if he's seeing weird things that aren't there.
Beef's a good
You can
look.
give it a try. Yeah, give me some D6s.
I'll give it
I
a
didn't mean to be so hedging right there.
So you can fucking try. 14.
Yeah.
My magics.
If there was any kind of enchantment on him, it's gone now. And I think, if anything, you're just being very soothing in a way.
Calm down.
And I just go, who told you that was my dad's favorite song?
What is the song, by the way?
But the song, well, it's an old dwarven lullaby.
Gold, gold, gold. Gold, gold, gold.
Yeah, I just start singing it with them.
Gold, gold, gold.
I only picked up the melody, I never knew the lyrics.
It's basically, I think, what
It's the word gold.
most dwarven songs.
Just one word.
But it's like different words for gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shiny stuff.
You get the impression that whatever was amping up in the background with the multiple watch people is settling down a little bit. The guards are all still there, but there's less exclamations, and it seems like there's more rank and file orders being given, and some of the less needed constables are being dismissed.
I guess we can still check it out, though.
Yeah, we could ask Carrot Top what happened.
Yeah, you see him? I don't see him from here.
Carrot Top?
Oh, yeah, I'll see him.
If you head over towards so it's like at the end of the street, basically.
Great.
On the way towards the patrician's palace, the big ornate marble sort of temple of, I don't know, what would you say, like the Parthenon kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
And you with expansive gardens and such, and so you head over towards there.
Coming, Eddie!
I mean, yeah, beef's going, right?
Hey, come on.
And I'll like
Yeah,
throw him
beef's
over my
going.
shoulder as I keep on playing the little
going.
tune to comfort you as we go.
I stroke your head as we walk.
And
It's really nice.
Do you fix the little feather on my very small fancy hat?
Oh, yeah.
It has been here the whole time.
I call bullshit. No, I don't.
It's on my character sheet. Stylish cap.
I believe it.
I took it from the bard that I squished.
Oh no. Do you ever feel bad about that? Or was it just Dwayne's will?
It was the will of Dwayne. It's not like I meant to do it. I just fell down a whole fucking mountain and I squished me. I happened to be there.
And as you guys head in this way towards the mouth of the street, towards this consternation, you get to see the ending of what was clearly a dramatic scene. Edward, you see the venerable Dr. Whiteface himself, who is in a formal suit, blood entirely over his hands, his front, including his stainless white shirt, and his characteristic white clown makeup and funny rainbow hair is all spattered in different ways with blood. He has been cuffed behind his back, and as you see him, Captain Carrot is doing the perp thing where police help people get into the police car without bumping their head. In addition to the body that you threw on the ground, you see another body. A clown you don't really recognize that has been brutally murdered. Slash marks all over its chest and neck, and as you see, one of the Igors that work in town walks up and begins to do the necessaries for putting them in a body bag and transporting them back to the Pseudopolis yard for an autopsy. And as you look at this scene, just by chance, Dr. Whiteface's eyes glance out among the people that are come to see a prominent man of the city arrested, and all of you see in his eyes just a very glazed calm.
When you wake up one morning and you realize, all groggy and misty-eyed, that you're flying right through the sky on a falcon named Jebediah. When you come to, you see right in front of you, Jebediah staying cool, he ain't scared of the sky or to die from a fall to the earth. But you know that he's got those wings and a beak and a voice that sings, among many other powerful things. He's the king of the falcons. Then you think about it with every single brain cell, that it's gotta be some kind of magic spell. You start feeling deceived, you stand up with your lungs swelled and your chest heaves, saying, King Jebediah, where are we flying? Is it to the moon? Far past the sky?
Welcome to the world of Heavendale, a town populated by superpowered teens that have been infiltrated by the group.
Did you mention daycare yet?
I was gonna just say who they were, so...
Hey, don't forget to tell everybody that I used to be a villain.
I have to like get to that first before I can even say it.
Damn it, I rolled a 5.
Why are you rolling dice? We're just recording a promo and not playing.
Crap, I rolled a 4.
What?
We are going to die in the promo.
Okay, that doesn't really make sense if people haven't listened to the podcast yet, so I don't know why.
It's a pre-callback.
Okay, pre-callbacks are not a thing.
I feel really good about the promo.
I have not even finished the opening line.
Yeah, I think we nailed it.
Okay, no one knows the name of our podcast.
It's Critical Bits.
It's a comedy role-playing game podcast.
Find it wherever you get your podcasts.